John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.
Hello, everyone. This is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience here at the Alkemalon Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one brick, one building, one block at a time. And as we often say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we show that we care about the things that we do. And today, I would just like to thank each and every one of you for your support on yesterday, our little fundraiser, the barbecue. Everybody showed up and showed out to our churches, families, and friends. You know how to make an old dude feel pretty good. And I just want to say thank you. My father always told me appreciate what anyone chooses to do for you because they don't have to do anything. They don't owe you anything and they don't have to do anything for you. So when people take the time out, you take the time out and let them know that you appreciate them. And hopefully, in my talk, I talk with my family, I talk with my wife, I talk with my children, and I often tell them how important it is. And you notice I often talks about love, and love begins at home. Charity begins at home and then spreads abroad. We have to show love at home. Have seen a lot of times where people love everybody what their family look like to me in some cases. They reach out, they do things and want to help and support everybody else, but they don't won't reach out and do something to help their own little families and what have you. But I just want to say today to keep, be mindful of the things that you do, supporting one another as well as yourself. And like I say, sometimes I find myself fiddling around because I be trying to think of the right thing to say because I don't want to. I want to be careful for nothing. I don't want to offend anyone, because I'm not no professor, professional, and know everything. I learn as I go along, and most of the things that I talk about is from the experience that I have had my own self. I've always, I was raised up in the church. I was raised up family. I was raised to love my family. So when I see it not happening everywhere else, I kind of think that maybe something is wrong. But it's just life. And so we just have to keep living life and make the changes. As we learn better, we do better. I went this morning and paid my respect to a great friend of mine, Buster Charles. His name was Charles and Hartman. And I just, in memories of him, I like to just thank God for the relationship that we had. Every now and then, he would always, his family would go by to see him in the convalescent home while he was there. And he would always want them to call me and he wanted to check on me. And whenever, if I wasn't calling him soon enough, he would have something, call John. And I want to just thank God that I had the time and my wife and I had the time to go from time to time. We went and celebrated his birthday one weekend at the convalescent home. We sometimes go out there and sit with him and talk with him, and I didn't realize just how close that he and I were and that what we had in common. He was born in Mississippi. He was born in 42 and I was born in 52 and he was a hustler. He had a candy store. He managed bars and he worked at the packing house. I had I worked at the packing house. I had a candy shop as well. So you never know. It's a small world. Some of the little things that you don't know about one another. But I just thank God for the time. that I shared with him and his family. And my prayers go out to them. So once again, like I say, we just have to love on one another. And I went to the funeral today, and the family members and the wife, they was glad to see me, and it made me feel good because she realized that I was there when I could be there, and that's all we could do, be there when you can. So, and I just thank God because God has truly been good to me and my family and our business. And we seem to take things for granted, but no matter how bad things seem to be, there's always seemed to be a ram in a bush, or the Lord always sends somebody along to let you know that He has not forgotten about you. And when I think about that, I look at the situation and thank God, say, all the different things that He have done. It reminds me that sometimes my father tell the story about the kite. The little boy was flying a kite, and no, a man or somebody was flying a kite, and as he was flying it, he began to just let it go higher and higher and higher. So it got to a point that he couldn't see it. And after he couldn't see it, and the man just stood there just holding the rope, and the little boy came and he looked up in there to see what was going on. And he said, "Excuse me, sir, but what are you doing?" He said, "I'm flying a kite." He said, "Excuse me for 1 minute." He said, "I'm sorry. I was promptly interrupted there for a minute and I had to take that." But he said, he said, "I'm flying a kite." He said, "Well, how do you know it's still up there?" He said, "Well, every now and then I get a little tug and it lets me know that it's still up there." So what I'm saying to you is that every now and then the Lord gives you a little tug one way or the other, or give you somebody to come along when it just seems like there's no one there, no one around. There's no matter what you're going through, what you're trying to do, when it seems like all hope is gone, God always show up and He shows out. He lets you know that He has not forgotten you. And I'm just here to tell you today that He haven't forgotten you. It may feel like that, but He said He won't put no more on you than you can bear. So that's just sometimes what they say, when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot in it and keep hanging. When you go through all and do all that you can, what do? You still stand. We can't afford to give up. We can't afford to give up on one another. We can't afford to give up on our families. We can't afford to give up on our children, on our business. Because if you give up, one thing's for sure, it's over. It's done. But if you just keep hope alive, give that loved one another chance, give that person another chance. Keep driving, keep pushing. And what they say, when it seems like you at the end of the tunnel and you get there and look and say, I just want to give up, and you let go. Sometimes you let go and let God and get that extra boost, and you just tunnel just a little more. Sometimes you be right at the end of your breakthrough, but you would have never known it if you would have gave up. So let's just keep hope alive. Let's love one another. Let's support one another. The different businesses that's I see the different, even though I barbecue first Friday and third Friday, I see some of these other businesses in the neighborhood. I want to give them a shout out. I stop sometimes and support them. I go on the west side. Every time I find out there's a black owned business somewhere, I just, they don't know who I am. They don't have to know. You don't have to be lifted. You don't have to be put on a pedestal. Hey, I'm such and such, and I want. No, just do. Just do what you can to support one another. And those of you that listening and watching, take the time out and reach out to London and let her do some advertising for you. The Washington, network, Doris Washington. Reach out to her. Give her a call. Let her know when your next function is happening and what's going on. And let her advertise it for you. She won't hurt you. She'll do you all the good and she'll give you a great deal. You can't beat her prices. So let's remember to support one another. We so busy, I talks about that craft syndrome every now and then. Let's not I hate to just keep talking about it, but I find that we still have people trying to pull each other down. No, I mean, not that I'm somebody to listen to, but you should, when you know better, do better. And together we stand, and divided we fall. Each one reach one, each one teach one. If they don't know better, then teach them. If they can't, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. So, but do your part. Lead us to where we need to be. You know, take us, help us. We'll help us one to another. To God be the glory. If it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, where would I be? I often tell that story. So I just want to encourage you to reach out to one another. To just, when you see somebody in need, every now and then, in my cooking, people come by and don't have enough money. I give them a break. I can't do it all the time, but I can do it sometime. So let's not forget one another. Lift each other up. Let's not waste all that time, precious time, trying to hold people down, trying to hold them back. We are helpers one to another. And today I just want to thank you for taking the time out to listen to what I have to say, and hopefully I encourage you. Thank you for listening to John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience, here at the Alkemelan Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one brick, one building, one block at a time. And as we often say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we show it by the things that we do. All you got to do is just watch a person and just watch what he do. And that will tell you who he is. Thank you and have a great day.
John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.